Hi, so today's book we're going to go through is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Tiny changes, remarkable results, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. So definitely the easiest way to go into this book is to quote Aristotle, a quote everyone has heard: "We are not what we do, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence therefore isn't an act but a habit." How do we create good habits? In that quote you could actually change or swap excellence with improvement. So whether you're chasing improvement or you're chasing excellence, it's completely based on your habits. I would recommend checking out James Clear on Instagram. Has a really good Instagram page with a lot of his main concepts just put on it repeatedly. Now, one of the keys here is the fact that these are tiny habits. They're small changes that we're trying to make that add up to huge progress or huge improvements over time. Taking a deep look at your habits and trying to fix your habits and improve your habits makes you think far more process orientated rather than goal orientated. Now, I love setting goals as much as anyone, and something I was guilty of in the past was definitely setting goals all the time without evaluating the processes that lead to the goals. And goals are definitely something that can be used as a big motivator or a big inspiration for you to start changing your lifestyle, but habits are far more important. So you can actually make vast improvements in your lifestyle without setting any goals just by changing your habits. But you'll never reach your goals without changing your habits in the first place. So the first thing we're going to look at is fitness, and a 12-week fitness plan, which is something that most people are willing to commit to, but not many people stick out till the end. 12 weeks is definitely a decent time frame to make good results and to make good changes to your physique. And let's have a look at what small habits along the way make a huge difference over the course of that 3-month period. Especially this time of year, it can be critical to any successful fitness plan or New Year's resolution style fitness plan. The first thing we're going to look at here is cardio. When I start with a new client, I like to break apart their cardio from their nutrition, from their strength training. And we look at how Atomic Habits has a huge effect on all three, or the success or failure of all three. So the first one is cardio. What we're trying to do is increase 2,000 extra steps per day. So that would move someone from 8,000 steps to 10,000 steps. And 10,000 steps, if your goal is to get fitter, leaner, healthier, I would recommend as the minimum for nearly everybody starting off. Now, any 2,000 step increase, if you're only starting on an average of 4,000 steps a day and you're moving up to 6, is going to be an improvement, but you should be aiming for that 10,000. But let's say you're moving from 8 to 10,000. Over the course of 7 days, that's going to equal to 14,000 extra steps per week. So you have more than a day's extra cardio in the week just by adding 2,000 extra per day. Then over the course of 12 weeks, it's 168,000 extra steps. Even though it's only a 20-minute extra walk per day, or 15 to 20 minutes extra on the treadmill, over the course of just 12 weeks, 3 months, which is a pretty short fitness plan, you're doing 168,000 extra steps, which is colossal. And it's going to have a massive impact on improving your body composition, improving your health, and losing body fat. The second part of your 12-week fitness plan is your nutrition. So let's say you're adding or taking away 400 calories, because if you're trying to bulk up and put on some muscle and size, you're probably going to want to increase at least 400 calories per day. And if you're starting to lose weight, usually I would drop people around 400 calories per day. So let's say you're plus or minus 400 calories, whether you're cutting or bulking. Over the course of 7 days, that's 2,800 calories difference per week, and then multiply that by your 12 weeks, it's 33,600 calories. This is a huge difference. Just going up or down 400 calories per day is a colossal difference. 33,600 calories is enough food to cover your kitchen table. So being really consistent in tracking your calories and keeping them under control makes a huge difference, whether your fitness goal is moving up in weight to gain more muscle or to move down in weight and lose more body fat. The second nutrition atomic habit I talk to my clients about the most would definitely be protein intake, as it's the most important after calories. So to increase 30 grams extra of protein per day across 7 days, that's 210 grams of protein extra per week. So more than a day's required protein intake if you're trying to build muscle, and more than 2 days extra required protein for most women. Then multiply that by 12 again across your 12-week program, and that's 2,500 extra grams of protein in a 12-week period. Again, this is a huge amount of food. Definitely, I'd say enough to cover most of your kitchen table with chicken fillets or steaks or eggs or whatever it might be. So even though only increasing 30 grams extra of protein per day, which is maybe a chicken breast or a turkey burger or a few eggs, even though it's only that small amount increased per day, over the course of 12 weeks, it's enough to make a huge difference towards achieving your fitness goal, whichever way you're trying to go. So the third part of the fitness plan for my clients is the strength training. Now it is a little more difficult here to be specific. It's not as black and white, because even though you're trying to add an atomic habit, it does really rely on doing the right exercises, which we talked about last week, and making sure you're using good technique. So it's not as simple as just adding 2,000 steps per day, because 2,000 steps is 2,000 steps, or 300 calories is 300 calories. This is adding strength training sessions, but they have to be strength training sessions that actually matter. They're actually moving you towards your goals. So across 12 weeks of training, you're going to do 36 to 48 strength training sessions, and in each of these sessions adding a little bit in terms of reps, volume or intensity, getting a little bit stronger all the time. That's where I suppose I would spend most of my time with my clients, is actually coaching through the strength training. But if they are doing their extra protein, their calories are under control, whether that's going up or down the way, and their cardio is under control and they're consistent with that as well, just these small daily habits make a huge impact. And this is where my before and after results come from my clients in the gym. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is a negative habit. So it's very tempting to just go through the positives and never realize how much of an effect your negative habits are having on your life. When you're trying to change anything, it's really important to make sure that if you're adding a new positive habit, that you take away something that's going to interfere with that, or you at least identify something that's going to potentially interfere with the positive habit that you're trying to change. For fitness, definitely drinking alcohol is a major one, so that's what I'm going to cover here. But it could be many different things that are energy vampires, draining your money, draining your time, draining your just feeling of well-being. So as you're trying to change your fitness habits, making sure you identify these clearly is absolutely massive. So I went with drinking alcohol, something I don't do only 2 or 3 times a year when I'm on holidays, and I have never really drank that much. Went through maybe a bit of a phase when I was about 22 or 23, and for about 6 months drank every weekend or every second weekend, but that was really the only time in my life I've drank more than a handful of times a year. But with this habit, I've went through very moderate numbers. I haven't gone too excessive. You don't need to be an alcoholic to be able to identify with these figures. So let's say you do 30 sessions per year, or you go on the beer 30 times per year. One important thing to factor in is that's 30 hangovers. 30 hangovers is the day after you're drinking, not just the day you're drinking. The day after you're drinking, most people are useless. I know I certainly am anyways. So make sure you're factoring the amount of energy it takes away from you as well, and not just the money, which we'll go through here now in a bit more detail, and the calories. So that's €100 per night, which is a moderate enough estimate for a college night out or a night out in general, and that's €3,000 per year. 30 sessions in a year, and multiply that by 5 years, that's 15 grand. So imagine what you could do with that 15 grand. The second part of the atomic habit of drinking alcohol we're going to go through is the extra calories that you consume. So 6 pints of lager is pretty moderate, and so is 1 bottle of wine. So the 6 pints of lager is 1200 calories. The the bottle of wine is 600 calories. So we multiply the 1200 calories for your 30 sessions. Say you have 6 pints each time you go out, 30 pints 30 times in the year. That's 36,000 extra calories per year, which is a huge amount. It's often the difference between gaining 10 pounds of fat in a year and not gaining 10 pounds of fat in the year, is those 36,000 extra calories. Across 5 years, it's 180,000 extra calories from drinking alcohol. That's a colossal amount. When you factor in the money and the energy wasted from the hangovers, this is a huge elephant in the room for a lot of people who would be far better off without it, and replacing it with something more productive that brings more value to their life. And simply to move it down to 600 calories for the bottle of wine, that's 18,000 calories extra per year and 90,000 extra calories over a 5-year period. Let's say those 36,000 extra calories that you consume in the whole year, and 36,000 a huge amount, leads to 10 pounds extra weight gain. Over the course of 5 years, that's gaining 50 pounds. And 50 pounds is often what people gain over 5 years. Some a bit less, some a bit more. So it's not just removing the negative habit, it's leaving space for so much positivity and so much positive habits to replace all the time and energy being wasted on to excessive nights out. The next thing we're going to talk about is my beloved reading that I don't shut up about. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I'm constantly putting up different parts of books I'm reading and different books I've read and have read, but it's made such a positive impact in my life that I'm trying to push it on to as many people who are interested in it. If you read 10 pages per day, and we'll say you just do that 5 days per week, so that's only half an hour. It takes me about half an hour usually to read 10 pages, depending on the book obviously, and you do that 5 times per week, then that's 50 pages extra of reading per week. Over the course of a year, that's 52 weeks, which is 2,600 pages of reading per year, which is a huge amount of reading even though it's only 10 pages 5 days a week. So moving from your 2,600 pages of reading per year across 5 years, that's 13,000 extra pages of reading. If we go down then and divide that, all those pages, let's say each book you read has 300 pages, which is quite a big book. 13,000 pages divided by 300 is 43 books. 43 books in the next 5 years is a brilliant addition to your life. It doesn't matter if you're not reading self-improvement all the time, or self-help as they're called. I hate books that are called self-help books, because some of the most helpful books I've ever got haven't been your stereotypical self-help books. Some of them have been fiction. So it doesn't matter what type of book you're reading, if you read that much, you're going to be a happier, more well-rounded person, in my opinion, as you're going to be spending far less time on Netflix and social media, which is most of the time very dead activities unless you're creating content to put on those platforms. Next point I'm going to talk about is something very close to my heart. I absolutely love my GA coaching, which I've been doing for 10 years now. Now, while I'm the coach of the team and I'm trying to improve the habits across the team, in a lot of different areas, from nutrition, strength and conditioning to tactical awareness and skills. What I'm trying to focus on here is to give you a grasp of how you could take control of your habits on the football field, and how small changes to your analysis of your game could make a huge impact on your performance, potentially anyways. So let's say your total number of possessions per game, we want to increase that by 5. Now, like your quality weight training sessions, it's not just extra possessions or it's not just extra tackles. They have to be quality extra possessions. Quality matters too, obviously, and it's really important in this context, in a sporting context. But as a general rule, increasing 5 possessions per game is definitely an achievable target, and it's definitely something that can be built upon in many different ways, no matter what your position on the pitch is. So 20 games across the year, 5 extra would be 100 extra possessions in the year. 100 extra possessions in the season has the potential to massively increase your performance and how important you are to your team's success. The next thing would be off the ball, which is your tackles. If you increase 3 tackles per game, another, like the 5 extra possessions, 3 extra tackles per game, no matter what position you are on the pitch, is a very achievable target. That's 60 extra tackles in the season, so 10 tackles in a game would be a very solid day's work for any player, no matter what position they're in, especially nowadays when forwards, pressing, kickouts is so important. Most good teams, anyway, get between 50 and 100, anything between 50 and 100 tackles per game. So the fact that you can get as much as a whole team extra across a season has the potential to really increase the value you're adding to your team as well. Then let's say 1 in every 6 of those tackles is a turnover. Turnovers are far harder to get, obviously, than tackles, because it has to be a properly executed tackle that actually strips the ball away. 10 extra turnovers in a season is massive. Turnovers are king in the modern game. All the top teams really focus on them, and just by taking complete control of your analysis of your own individual game, leaving the team separate in this example, you could have 100 extra possessions per season, 60 extra tackles per season, and 10 extra turnovers. Very easy to track, very easy to monitor, with the potential of you becoming far more valuable to your team. Alright, finally, to finish up, I couldn't recommend this book enough. It has the potential to really shape the way you think about making progress, and also negatively to really shape the way you think about how your bad habits are affecting you and taking away from your life, taking away time, money, energy. What I would say to you is, don't be afraid to do the arithmetic. Do out the numbers. Take out a blank pen and paper. Be moderate enough with your estimates. You don't have to go excessive on what the maximum amount of money you spend on these things is, or the maximum amount of calories your drinking is costing you, or anything like that. But maybe for you, it's an online shopping, it's gambling, it's your car loan that's robbing you of all your disposable income, it's smoking. It could be anything that's negatively taken away from your life. And how can you replace those bad habits that are costing you time, money and energy with good habits like new skills and hobbies, adding strength? A dream for a lot of people, myself included, is to travel to many places, see many different cultures. If you could see 2 or 3 countries a year for 10 years, that's 20 to 30 countries. That's more traveling than most people dream of in their lifetime. And it's well achievable if you focus on excluding some bad habits that are costing you money. So all your power lies in analysing yourself accurately and tracking yourself accurately. Your excellence and your improvements relies completely on your habits. And if you can clearly identify what things you need to improve on and what things are holding you back, the potential for improvement is enormous. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube.